Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, Passover, Nisan 14, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on 33 AD. And the idea is Jesus is the perpetual, continuous sacrifice, or the Tamid in the Hebrew. The scripture reference is Exodus 29, verses 38 through 42. Now this is what you shall offer on the altar, 2 one-year-old lambs, each daily, continuously. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at twilight. And the word continuously is the Hebrew word tamid. And in effect, there were two sacrifices every day at the temple. One was in the morning, and one was in the evening. And the daily sacrifices are to be given with bread and wine continuously. And there are the elements for communion, a little foreshadowing of communion. This is noted in Exodus 29, verses 40 through 42. And then if you want further directions in regards to the Tamid sacrifice, you can check out Numbers chapter 28, verses 1 through 8. And this sacrifice was to be done continually, or Tamid in the Hebrew. And Tamid means continuity, perpetuity, to stretch out continuously. In regards to the timing of this, the book of Acts may provide some evidence in regards to the time of the evening sacrifice. And we go to Acts 3, verse 1. Now Peter and John were going up to the temple at the 9th hour, the hour of prayer. And so the idea with the 9th hour as a time point is like the 9th hour of daylight. So the sun comes up at 6 in the morning, 9 hours later would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the hour of prayer was the time of the afternoon sacrifice, and the hour of prayer would be the 9th hour, or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. This is also noted by some other historians, Josephus in the Antiquities of the Jews, Philo of Alexandria, and then also the oral teachings or the oral tradition of the law, the Mishnah. Now there's no specific time given for the morning sacrifices, and so extra biblical sources point to 9 a.m. being the time. Again, Josephus, Philo, and the Mishnah indicated that the morning sacrifice took place at the 3rd hour, or 9 a.m., so the 3rd hour of daylight. Assuming the sun comes up about 6, 3 hours later would be 9 o'clock. Now when it comes to the crucifixion and death of Jesus, the Bible does provide time points. Mark chapter 15, verse 25, it was the 3rd hour when they crucified him. So again, the 3rd hour of sunlight, 3 hours after the sun comes up at 6, gets you to 9 o'clock in the morning. And then Mark chapter 15, verses 34 and verse 37, at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is translated, my God, why have you forsaken me? And Jesus uttered a loud cry and breathed his last. So the crucifixion started at the 3rd hour of daylight, or 9 in the morning, and then he died at the 9th hour of daylight, or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And the thing that's very interesting about this, these are the same times as God told Moses 1,500 years ago, prior to Christ. This is when the perpetual sacrifices, or the Tamid sacrifices, to take place. 9 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. For references, see Exodus 29 and Numbers 28. Now this is according to the oral teachings of the law. These are the things that are handed down in the Mishnah. And there were prayers that the priests would do every day in the temple. Every day during the morning and the evening sacrifices. And so while Christ was on the cross, the priests in the temple offered up prayers with a focus on 4 topics: redemption, forgiveness, the coming of the Messiah, and the resurrection of the dead. And so the point would be is that Jesus' death on the cross is the perpetual, eternal sacrifice for all time, for all sins. He's the Tamid sacrifice. And, the reason for the sacrifice is done every day. Sin happens every day. And today in the church age, we commemorate his death, Jesus' death on the cross, by communion with the elements of bread and wine. And the bread and wine, they are a direct reference back to Exodus chapter 29. Bread and wine offering are part of the sacrifice. If you're interested in these sorts of things, please feel free to check out www.paulthepoke.com. Keyword search over in the far right column of the front page. Appreciate you guys listening. Thanks a lot. Bye.